She arrived every morning before the sun. Quiet. Head down. Baggy coveralls hanging loose, boots scuffed, her long brown hair tied up into a knot that looked like it hadn't been undone in days. Her name was Laila, but almost no one said it. At the depot, they just called her the girl in the pit. She never complained about the name. She never complained about the grease burns on her wrists or the way oil seemed to cling to her fingers even after a shower. She didn't flinch when the wrenches slipped or when brake fluid leaked down her sleeves. Because Laila wasn't there to impress anyone. She was there to make sure people didn't die. But no one saw that. They just saw a girl. Small. Quiet. Always under the buses with her clipboard and socket set. She barely spoke during team meetings and didn't join in on depot jokes. That made her easy to overlook and easier to mock. One afternoon, as she was inspecting bus 27, a voice interrupted her thoughts. "You sure you know what you're doing down there?" She looked up. It was Mike, one of the older drivers. Big guy. Loud voice. Walked like he owned the lot. I mean, he chuckled, looking around at the others. Didn't think they let little girls mess with brake lines. A few of the guys behind him laughed. "Hope that bus doesn't end up in a ditch," someone muttered. One of them fake whispered, "She probably tightens bolts with lip gloss." Laila stared at them for a long second. Not angry. Not sad. Just patient. Then she wiped her hands on a rag, stood, and said calmly, "If your line pressure ever drops mid-route, there's a manual override. Panel 1. Red cable. Pull it hard. It'll lock the rear axles and slow the vehicle manually. I already reinforced the connection. Should hold at highway speed." Silence. Not because they respected her, but because they had no idea what she just said. Mike blinked, laughed awkwardly, and walked away. And Laila? She slid back under the bus. Because she wasn't there to be understood. She was there to do it right. What no one knew, what no one even cared to ask, was that Laila had lost her brother in a bus accident 5 years ago. Failed brakes. No backup line. No one to blame, just a tragic mechanical failure. She had learned everything after that. Every bolt. Every cable. Every weak spot in every machine that carried people. Because if she could stop even one bus from going off the road, then it would mean something. Even if no one ever said her name. Friday morning was warm. Sunny. Clear skies. Bus 27 was assigned to a field trip to Willow Canyon, a winding route through the mountain pass. 54th graders, packed into the seats, full of laughter and juice boxes and field trip energy. Mike was driving. He barely thought of Laila as he started the engine. Sure, he remembered her talking about a red cable or whatever, but the truth was, most of the drivers didn't take her seriously. She was just the girl in the pit. Halfway through the drive, they hit the mountain slope. That's when everything unraveled. Mike pressed the brake. Nothing. He pressed again, harder. Still nothing. The brake pedal dropped all the way to the floor. The bus didn't slow. It picked up speed. The air filled with sound. Children screaming. Lunchboxes crashing. Seatbelts pulling tight. The engine roaring louder with each foot gained down the slope. Mike panicked. He gripped the wheel like it was the only thing holding him to the earth. No brakes. No brakes, he yelled over the radio. But they were too far out. No signal. The canyon loomed. A sharp bend in the road, one they wouldn't survive at this speed. Then, through the chaos in his mind, a voice. Her voice. Panel 1. Red cable. Pull hard. He dropped to his knees, scrambling to find the panel. His fingers were shaking. Sweat clouded his eyes. He yanked the small metal door open. Inside, just like she'd said, a red cable, reinforced and wrapped twice in rubber insulation. He grabbed it. Pulled. The bus shuddered violently. The rear tires locked. The vehicle skidded sideways. Smoke filled the cabin. Children cried. Someone vomited. Another screamed for their mom. But the bus stopped. Right there, at the edge of the cliff, the front tires hovering inches from empty space. Mike dropped his head against the steering wheel and wept. He didn't save them. She did. The girl they laughed at. The girl they ignored. She had saved them all, without even being there. That evening, the depot buzzed with energy. News trucks outside. Parents arriving. Supervisors pacing. Everyone wanted answers. And Mike? He didn't speak to reporters. He didn't care about cameras. He drove straight back to the garage. He found her exactly where he expected, under another bus, sleeves rolled up, headphones in, gently tapping a wrench against the undercarriage. Laila. She slid out slowly. Pulled one earbud out. He didn't know what to say. His face was pale. His eyes, different now. Not proud. Not loud. Just overwhelmed. You saved them, he said. She looked at him for a moment, expression unreadable. Then gave a small, tired smile. You pulled the cable, she replied. I just made sure it worked. No, he said, voice cracking. You didn't just make it work. You gave us a second chance. You gave me a second chance. She didn't respond. She didn't need to. Because this wasn't about ego. It never had been. She went back to work, tightening bolts, checking fluid levels, humming quietly. Because this is what real work looks like. Not headlines. Not recognition. Just showing up. Doing the job. Fixing what's broken before it breaks. No one laughed at her after that. They asked her name. They listened when she spoke. And Mike? He started checking his override panel before every drive. Every single time. Because sometimes the one they laugh at is the one who saves them all. Speech balloon if you believe quiet strength is real strength. Tell us where you're watching from in the comments. This is the Soul Script, where the ones they ignore become the ones who save us. Like this story, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell for more powerful, human stories like Laila's.